Hey guys, this is Beyond Swing. In this video, we're going to discuss about some good candlestick patterns that you should follow while trading. You can use this for both swing and day trading. I use these patterns myself for both buying and selling opportunities, even to time my entry and exit as well. As always, I'll be sharing one stock that is on my watch list and is looking good for a breakout. So, do watch the video till the end. Now, let's dive straight in. First thing that we have to keep in mind is that candlestick when viewed in isolation add little to no benefit in our trading journey. So make sure to view these candlestick patterns in combination with other things like support and resistance levels, trend lines, etc. First, we will talk about high test and a low test. High test usually occurs at resistance zones and can be identified with having long wicks at the top. Long wicks indicate selling pressure at resistance zone. So, a high test occurring at the resistance level with volume is an indication of exhausted buyers. This means that sellers are likely to take over. Similarly, a low test occurring at a support level with volume is an indication of exhausted sellers. We may start to see buying pressure soon. Now, let's go over some chart and see how all of this plays out. The first example that we're going to be taking a look at is Bajaj Finserv. This is a daily chart of Bajaj Finserv. And you guys might have noticed there's this high test forming over here and right at the resistance zone of previous all-time high. So this was a first indication that there might be a change in trend, and which actually did happen. As you guys can see over on the right side, we started forming a downtrend. So this was the first example of a high test. High test occurring at resistance zone is an indication that sellers are likely to take over soon. Over on the same daily chart of Bajaj Finserv, we have a low test forming as well. If you guys just zoom in a little bit over here, see this candle. We have support from the 200 exponential moving average. Then we have this formation of a low test. Keep in mind guys, this is not a foolproof method. Low test is just a first indication of an uptrend. So as you guys can see, we started moving upwards over here. Then this entire war scenario happened. So we have been trading downwards. We have this downward sloping channel forming as well. I will talk about this in another video. Second candle we are going to discuss is engulfing candles. They are also known as momentum candles. One can identify these candles with little to no wicks. In fact, as a rule of thumb, the smaller the wick, the better the candle. Bullish engulfing candle is an indication of strong trend. So, bullish engulfing candle appearing at support zone is an indication of buying setups. Similarly, bearish engulfing candles appearing at resistance zones is an indication of selling setups. Now, there are a lot of variations that you might see on live charts. So, let's go over some actual charts and see how you can work through all these variations. The next example that we're going to be taking a look at is Tata Steel daily chart. As I've said before, you need to combine these candlestick patterns with other things like support and resistance levels as well as trend lines. Now, you guys can see that there are multiple bullish engulfing candles over here and they are coming right from the support levels. So, this gives an indication of buying setups. Now, you guys can see the volume as well. We have expanding volume, massive bullish engulfing candles. This is a perfect case of a trade. If one were to enter over here with this first bullish engulfing candle, you could have already capped in around 15%. I do not usually trade in these sectors, so I avoided this one. But you guys can see the massive potential. Over on the same stock, one variation of bullish engulfing candle you might see can be something like this. Now, this type of candle is more likely evident on the lower time frame when where you are timing your entries and exit. So you might see something like this over on the smaller time frames. So this is a really good entry candle. In fact, I only enter with these kind of candles. Like we have a little bit of wick over on the bottom, but see how we have no wick at the top. Means that buyers were in complete control over here. So this is not exactly an engulfing candle because we have not clearly encompassed the previous candle. But this is a really good entry candle that you can incorporate in your trading journey. One downside over on this candle is that we did not have any volume. So if the volume is rising as well and we get a candle like this is a really good entry point. You can backtest this as well. These type of candles give a really good entry confirmation. The next example that we're going to be taking a look at is for bearish engulfing candles. This is a daily chart of TCS. You guys can see there's a resistance zone over here, previous all-time high, 2 rejections. The third time the price started falling down. So obviously we were looking for sell setups over on this side. And you guys can see we have this bearish engulfing candle. This is a really good candle, encompassed all of the previous 2 days price action. So the downtrend essentially began from here. As I've told you guys before, engulfing candles are the confirmation to the existing trend, and high test and low test are just an indication of change in trend. There's a contrasting difference between the two. While engulfing candles give the confirmation, high test and low test candles are merely an indication of change in trend. As I promised, one stock that is on my watch list and is looking good for a buy setup is Larsen and Toubro Infotech. This is a daily chart first. You guys can see there's a support zone forming over here with multiple rejections, like first rejection over here and second rejection. We have already started bouncing from the same. So over on the daily chart, the bias is obviously going to be positive as we are trading above the 200-day exponential moving average. Also, we have support zone forming over here. Over on the 4-hour chart, you guys can see we have a formation of a downward sloping channel. These type of channels tend to play out like this. Like first we have an impulse, then some corrective move. Then as soon as we break above this previous lower high level and also the trend line over here, which we have already done, there is some indication of an uptrend. You guys can see there's a little bit of volume expansion as well, which is obviously positive going into the buy setup. So bias again over on the 4-hour time frame is positive. Now over on the 1-hour time frame, you guys can look to time your entry with the break of this first lower high level, and we have some sort of an engulfing candle. If we are able to like close above this 200-day exponential moving average as well, it will be even better. The volume is of course over on the positive side. We have some red volumes as well, but it is fine. So again, the bias is positive over on the 1-hour chart as well. So I'll be looking to enter with the break of this 200-day exponential moving average if we could continue with a bullish engulfing candle like this as we have discussed just right now. So a bullish engulfing candle here would be nice as well, and my stop loss would be somewhere over here. And the targets that you can expect is, of course, first target would be somewhere over here with this resistance of 5 to 6%, and of course the main target is over on the top, 23 to 25%. This is the power of swing trading. Your targets can be a lot wider. A few key important pointers. I see a lot of beginners overcomplicating these candlestick patterns. Like they get overwhelmed by the fact that there are so many candlestick patterns that they have to learn. Guys, you don't need to learn all of them. Just apply the ones that work the most. The 2 candlestick patterns that I've shared with you right now are the ones with the highest probability of playing out. Thanks a lot guys for tuning in. As always, any suggestion and feedback is welcome in the comment section below. I'll see you guys next week with another educational video covering stock market. Hey guys, if you're new here, you can check out my Instagram where I post regular market updates, my personal trades and stocks that I'm looking to buy. One post daily at 6 PM. I'll leave the link in the description for you guys to check out.